Hello, my name is Sylvia Liska-Durrell. I developed this How to Market Your Button Club to Increase Membership presentation for the 2017 Florida State Button Society show. My purpose is to help button clubs grow and continue to exist for all of us who love buttons. In part one of my How to Market Your Button Club to Increase Membership program, I will share responses to a survey I conducted in 2016. The answers to my button lovers and collectors survey came from club members and from Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube followers. My first question in the online survey was about gender. Of the 208 people who answered, 202 were women and 6 were men. Keep in mind that these demographics only pertain to people who responded to my survey and not to the button collecting population as a whole. In the next several slides, I will share the information I gained from answers to all 10 of the questions in the survey. The next survey question was, what is your preferred method of contact from your button club? We got 90 responses. 7% chose Facebook, 7% chose a phone call, and 10% like a bulletin or a newsletter mailed to their home. But the overwhelming majority of respondents, 77%, say email contact is the best for them. 208 people answered, which range includes your age? You can see that the age range is definitely weighted towards the upper ages. This is a good thing for our survey. These are very likely the folks who have had the most history with button clubs and collecting, so their answers come from experience. But this could also be considered a bad thing for longevity of our clubs. When I asked, are you a member of a state button society? 202 answered, and of them, 81.5% said yes, and 18.5% said no. Of the 190 responses I got to the question, how many times have you attended your state button show and meeting? 5% said there is no state button show in their state. 7% have just never attended, and 87% have attended. When asked, what is your opinion of the number of members currently in your club? 33% said their club needs more active members. 41% of the 155 responders think their club needs more members. And 60% said their club needs younger members. There were 207 responses to the question, how long have you been a member of a local button club? Of the responders, we learned that 14.5% are not members of a club. In part 2 of my program, I'll share their answers to a follow-up question. What would entice you to become a button club or society member? But for now, let's look at a breakdown of club members. We see that 5% have been members less than a year, 6% have been members 1 to 2 years, 17% have been members 3 to 5 years, 13% have been members 6 to 9 years, and an amazing 45% have been members of a club for 10 years or more. When asked, with what aspect of your local club are you most happy, the 184 responses to this question played out this way. For 19% of the club members, the friendships they have found in the club makes them most happy. For 35% of the members, the shared interest of the love of buttons is the most important, and 47% responded that the education provided makes them most happy. The next question in the survey was, what aspect of your local club do you think needs the most improvement? This was one area in the survey where I gave respondents the opportunity to write their thoughts and opinions. There were 64 responses to this question. I didn't include the ones that said all is fine or I don't know. That gave us 58 responses to work with. 3 themes appeared: representing the highest consensus of answers, starting with the 13% of those who answered this question who expressed the need for more education programs. That's not a real high percentage, indicating, like we saw in the previous slide, that members are generally happy with the amount of education the club provides them. The second need was for more participation, which 21% of the respondents wrote in. That's an interesting statement, one I think that reflects on the dangers of burning out our leaders. And the highest percentage of responses shows that the number one area thought to need the most improvement is an increase in membership. 28% of the responders thought that. The next question was more or less a follow-up to what we just learned about that expressed top need. What is your opinion of the number of members currently in your club? Of the 157 responses to this question, 52 said we need more active members, 64 said we need more members, and 93 said we need more younger members. In addition to those that attained some consensus, there were a lot of thought-provoking comments made in answer to the question, what aspect of your club do you feel needs improvement? These statements are direct quotes from some survey responders concerning their perceptions of meetings they have attended. No one will really teach you how to compete. I'd like to learn how to read and use the state booklet on judging. Members are often extremely protective of their resources for buttons and extremely competitive. A new collector who is not into competition or who does not have a mature collection or cannot afford to invest in high-priced buttons is intimidated into not continuing or not getting further into the hobby. You're either in or out depending on how much money you have to spend on buttons. I'd like more meaningful meetings with education and sharing knowledge of buttons. We need more people to volunteer to serve as officers, host meetings, etc. Members need to focus on the meeting and not get distracted with chit-chat. Communication between all state clubs would be great. More members should come to all meetings. That completes my run-through of the survey questions. From what we've learned from the survey, the 3 membership goals we should concentrate on are more members, younger members, and because members like education, continued strong education. For ideas on how to build your club's memberships, please view part 2 of my How to Market Your Button Club to Increase Membership program. Thanks for your interest. Please email me at holybuttons@gmail.com if you have any questions.